Hi, third grade friends. Today we're going to be doing our next math lesson. This lesson is for Thursday, May 7th, and this lesson is all about perimeter. So we did quite a bit in chapter 12 with polygons, quadrilaterals, all different polygons, closed and open shapes, and lines and rays. We did a lot of geometry. So we're going to move on now to perimeter and area. Today we're just going to focus on perimeter. This is going to be kind of an introduction to perimeter, which is in the chapter 11 books. It doesn't really matter to us since we don't have our books right now, but this is kind of a combination just teaching us what perimeter is and how we can find it. So if you do not have a paper and a pencil, you need to go pause. You need to pause this and go grab those. We're going to be adding up multiple numbers today, and you're probably going to want to draw some pictures. So you're definitely going to need a piece of paper and a pencil. Go ahead and grab those if you do not have them. All right, we're going to start. So we're learning about perimeter today. Perimeter. I'm going to show you here. We have, this paper says perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around a figure. So I have here a picture of a square, and I'll put it up closer in a minute, but you can see I've made little dots all the way around the edge of the square. That's the perimeter, how much it takes me to get all the way around a shape. Same here for the triangle. Okay, I have little dots to figure out how much it takes to get all the way around it. I'm going to put that up a little closer for us. There we go. So you'll see, perimeter is how much it takes to get all the way around. Now, there are real times in real life that you would be using perimeter. If you have a garden or a backyard and you want to put a fence up, maybe animals or people or somebody's getting in your garden or your backyard, you would need to know the perimeter or the distance around that space so you knew how much fencing to buy. Okay? If you don't know the perimeter, you might not buy enough fencing, and then there would be a big hole in the fence, so there wouldn't be much point in having a fence, would there? Okay? So that's an example. That's not the only thing we need perimeter for, but that's an example. Maybe you want to put new trim around the floor in your bedroom, and you need to know the perimeter of the room, how much it takes to get around the edges so you could buy enough trim. Now, we're going to be learning today perimeter. Next week, we're going to be talking about area. And kids tend to get those confused. So there's a little rhyme we have. I'm only going to tell you the first part today. The first part of this rhyme says, perimeter you can measure, add up all the sides. This is to remind you how to find perimeter. Perimeter, sometimes when you get older, they'll have you measure a shape with a ruler, and then you'll add up the sides. We're not going to be doing that today. You're just going to be given how long the sides are. But we solve perimeter by adding up all the sides. Okay? I have a picture here of a rectangle. And you'll notice the top and the bottom of my rectangle are 5, and the sides are 2. To find the perimeter of this rectangle, I would add 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2. Let's think. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. The perimeter of this rectangle would be 14 because I added up all the sides. Perimeter you can measure, add up all the sides. That's going to help us as we move on. Now, there's actually two different ways that well, kind of three, that you're going to see perimeter questions. Okay, the first one I'm going to show you is just like what I just showed you, where you have a shape and all the sides have numbers, and all you have to do is add them up. That's it. So grab that pencil and that paper. I'm going to have you draw and write the numbers of this that I'm going to hold up for us. Okay, don't worry about this side for now, just this. I want you to draw this. It kind of looks like an L that's turned on its side. Okay, try to draw this out. I'm going to help you with the numbers because some of my writing doesn't look so good. The top is 3. The side is 3. The bottom is 1. This side is 1. And then the part that cuts over is 2. And this part is also a 2. I know that number is a little messy. It's hard to tell. So 3, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1. Draw that out. And I want you to add up all those numbers. Add 3 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. I'll give you a minute to write that out and solve that. If you need a little more time, go ahead and pause because we're going to go over it. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. And 11 plus 1 is 12. The perimeter of this shape is 12. Now, I am going to tell you, sometimes these will be labeled. Sometimes this might say 3 inches, or 3 centimeters, or 3 feet, or 3 meters. Or it might just say units. It might say 3 units. When we do perimeter, we just keep whatever unit it says. So if this all said centimeters, my answer would have been 12 centimeters. If it said inches on all these, my answer would be 12 inches. Okay? Whatever it said the unit was, that's what we would use. If it says units, we would say 12 units. Okay? The other way that you're going to see perimeter questions is either on dot or grid paper. I drew an example here of dot paper. Okay, so you might have played like the connect the dots game before, or who can make a square around the dots first game. So that's what this is showing. Sometimes it's grids, which means sometimes there are lines that connect all these dots already, and your shape will just be in a different color. Just like this one, the shape is in pink today. All the rest of the lines would be connected with black if they were going to be connected. Okay? The main thing that we need to know when we see dot or grid paper is that we have every line that is between one dot and another dot, just like this little pink one over here on the side that I've drawn, is equal to 1. Okay? 1. If I kept going, another one would be 2, 3, 4. Okay? So if I wanted to find the perimeter of this shape on dot paper, there are no numbers. I can't add up the sides because there aren't any numbers. All I have to do is count how many connections there are between the dots. So we already said, here's an example. This is 1. Okay? So if I come over here, and I'm going to start on top, I would recommend you decide where you like to start on a shape, and that way you always start in the same spot and you don't forget if you've counted that side already or not. That can sometimes be a thing that we do that makes a mistake on perimeter. I always like to start on the top usually, okay? So we're going to try 1. Let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sorry, third grade friends, this is actually backwards in my camera, so it makes it very hard to do. So 12 again on this one. Okay, I'm going to hold it just like this so we can try one more time in case my counting confused you. I count from this dot to this dot. That's 1. I made one line between dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, across 6, up 7, over 8, up 9, up 10, over 11, up 12. Okay, I counted 12 lines between dots, so my perimeter on this one would also be 12. Okay, there were no labels, so we would just leave it or say units. All right, we have some that you're going to be drawing out now. I have some examples for you. This next one's going to be very similar to this one over here. I have a shape drawn for you. All the sides are labeled. So all that you need to remember is perimeter you can measure, add up all the sides. Okay? You're going to draw this shape. And then you're going to label the sides. And you're going to find the perimeter. You'll see I have right here P equals. A lot of times we'll use that when we want to know what the perimeter is. We would write P equals and whatever the perimeter is. Okay, so you're going to draw this shape. It kind of looks like a block letter C. Okay, or bubble letter, but with corners, a C. The long up and down side, you're going to label 5. The top and the bottom are 3. These sides are 2. And then the part that cuts in, this is 1, this is 1, and this is 1. Okay, you're going to draw that. And then you're going to find the perimeter. Perimeter you can measure. Add up all the sides. You're going to add 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. I'm going to give you a minute to draw, write, and solve that. If you need some more time, go ahead and pause and solve before you keep watching. If you're ready, we're going to try this one out. I'm going to pull it back over here again just because it's hard for me to do it backwards. So, 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 5 is 18. The perimeter of this shape is 18. Now, some of you, it may have made more sense to you to go, I see 3 plus 2 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5, and here's a 5. So you might have been able to go 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. If that way makes sense to you, that's great. You can do it that way. If what I just said confused you a lot, then just count all the way around and add up all the way around. Just go in order. Okay? Either one, if you get 18, then you're right. Okay? Next, I'm going to show you something that you're probably going to see that could be confusing at first. Okay? very similar to what we just did. Here I have a rectangle, and my rectangle has an 8 on top and a 1 on the side, and then it says P equals blank. So I know I'm going to be finding the perimeter by adding all the sides. Perimeter you can measure, add up all the sides. But wait a minute, Miss Hogan, I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, Miss Hogan, all the sides aren't there. It doesn't tell me. Well, we just learned when we did polygons and rectangles, we know that the opposite sides of a rectangle are the same. So if the top is 8, the bottom is also 8. If the side is 1, then this side is also 1. Go ahead and draw for me this long, skinny rectangle. You're going to label the top 8. You're going to label the bottom 8. You're going to label the side 1 and this side 1. And then you're going to find the perimeter by adding all the sides. I'm going to give you a minute to do that. All right, if you need some more time, go ahead and pause. We're going to go over it now. When I'm solving, I would add 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 8 is 17, plus 1 is 18. 18. My perimeter here would be 18. Remember, if it had said centimeters, 8 feet, 8 inches, 8 meters, I would use that same label in the perimeter. This one did not. Good. Okay. The next one, we have 2 left that I'm going to be showing you. The next one is similar to that. I want you to think about this one. I'll give you a minute and see if you can solve the perimeter for this one without me helping you. It's tricky. I have a square. If you're confused, think about square. That's going to give you the hint here. I want to know the perimeter. Add up all the sides. But only one side of my square is labeled. It says this side of the square is 6. I want you to think for a minute. Since it's a square, what would the other side lengths be? Draw a square on your paper. See if you can label the sides and find the perimeter for me. You need some more time. Go ahead and pause here. You may have figured out that a square means all sides are the same. So if this side is 6, then this side is 6, and this side is 6, and this side is 6. They're all the same. Now, if you know your multiplication facts, squares make things easy, because instead of going 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, you can do 6 times 4 sides. 6 times 4 is 24. So my perimeter would be 24. If that's confusing, you can still do 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. Either way, you should get perimeter of 24. Okay? All right, I have one more for you. And this one's kind of a challenge problem. This one's a little trickier. So in this one, I have an equilateral, which I know is a big word, triangle. Now, we haven't talked much about equilateral triangles, but I bet you have a good guess as to what that means listening to the beginning of the word equilateral. This is a triangle where all the sides are the same length. So kind of like a square, but it's a triangle version. Not all triangles are equilateral triangles, okay? But this one is supposed to be. Now here is where things are confusing. I told you the perimeter. I said the perimeter is 15. If I add up all the sides here, I'm going to get 15. But I don't know a side length. I have a blank here for the side length. I didn't write it on all three because I have already told you they're all the same number. The way that I would solve this is I know all the sides put together would equal 15. And I know that there are 3 equal sides. 15 divided by 3 is what? You think you know, draw your triangle and label the sides with the number that you think each side is. 15 divided by 3 is going to help me solve this. I'm going to give you a minute to try to draw this triangle and see if you can label the sides with the right number. All the sides are going to have the same number because this is an equilateral triangle. All the sides are the same length. Okay. You need a little more time, go ahead and pause. You may have figured out 15 is my perimeter, divided by 3 equal sides is 5. Well, let's add and check and see if that makes sense. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. I did get a perimeter of 15, so that's how I know it's right. All right, that was our introduction to perimeter lesson today. Now you're going to be going to Personal Math Trainer, and you're going to be doing the intro to perimeter lesson. There are, I think, like 10 or 12 questions that are about perimeter. I picked them out because they're ones you should be able to do. Now remember one more time, perimeter is the distance around a shape. We use this to find things like fencing, or if I want to put a picture frame and I'm going to make it and I need to know how much wood to make around the edges. Or flooring, I want the edges, okay, not the normal floor, but the edges around the side of the wall would work. Okay, and again, perimeter you can measure, add up all the sides. You're going to see some questions that are just like this. It'll give you the amounts and you'll add them. You're going to see some where you have to count. Remember, each line between dots is 1. So this would 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just keep counting. Okay? All right, friends, thanks for watching. I hope you know all about perimeter now. Bye.